level 25. What was I getting? Dialogue? Dodge. Game does have bosses, but it's just the mob with increased HP. Really.
Why won't you?
Oh, come on. I just killed your bot. Oh, what was that?
Get me out of here!
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. Ah, all in a day's work for you, huh? You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. I would like nothing more than to celebrate this victory, but we have a serious problem on our hands. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Oh? I wasn't listening. I was thinking about getting some ice cream.
I see. Well, you've certainly earned a treat for yourself. I'll just, get on with reviving the other colonists and saving Halcyon, then. Enjoy your, creamed ice, or whatever you call it.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind:
for the 20 months of Tier 3, man.
survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on.
I want to replay the game immediately.
In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its
and
newfound
I'm gonna go
freedom.
for a min-max
The
build.
board was gone.
Well, min-max
And
from
for
what I
better or
know.
worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Sanjar's civil liberties and workers'
And I'm gonna play on hard mode, not this
were slow
bullshit,
to
so I can
catch
play with
on with the
companions.
other corporations.
Thank you,
But
XMix90
as
for the 10 months.
Halcyon began its long, arduous journey toward recovery, many of Terra 2's smaller townships started adopting MSI's alternative corporate structure, and eventually became entirely self-sufficient. In the coming years,
Oh
many
shit,
of
this
these
guy made it.
townships managed to eke by, where otherwise they might have starved. Without Lilia Hagen, Sublight
Oh.
Salvage fell apart. The company fractured,
Whoopsie
devolving
daisy.
into a series
I
of
might have
unregulated criminal
decapitated
gangs,
her.
fences, and smugglers. Their facade of legitimacy quickly faded. In time, the Sublight family was forgotten. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away.
See? I
and
saved
likely
towns.
died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established
I saved
town.
2 towns.
Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Junlei Tennyson fought to protect the Groundbreakers' independence. While the board's influence faded, mechanical difficulties forced her to rely on parts that only corporations could provide. The cost was high, and time would tell if Junlei could balance the work with her aspirations for a better future. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some
They
even
didn't
had
work?
to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Though Ellie Fenhill perished during her adventures with
Oh
you,
no.
she went out the way she would have wanted, in a blaze of violence and infamy. Felix Millstone never lived to see what became of the colony. He did not survive his encounter with you. Parvati didn't survive her adventure with you. Nyoka didn't survive her adventure with you. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard.
Oh.
That unit
In my
remains
next one, I'll look for
broken
this.
down and forgotten in the unreliable supply closet to this day. Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be
It
coming
was in
from
my
Earth,
ship?
he threw
Really?
his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social
I
reforms
saved the world.
began to change the structure and character of the colony.
Good ending.
Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances, Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the chaos on Tartarus, and left Dr. Wells to save Halcyon on his own. You had more pressing matters to attend to. As you tasted your first scoop of Rizzo's partially emulsified, semi-frozen milk-like dessert, you realized something. All your troubles, all your adventures, all your struggles and choices, they had all led to this single moment. And it was all worth it. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
I actually had an ice cream lab. Ah, shit, man. 8 out of 10. Maybe the score gets higher when I replay it on hard mode with companions, because I feel like the companions would have been a pretty big part of the game. New game. Only hard mode. Look at this. Read the plebs. I'm gonna take a leak. I'm gonna start on hard mode. Be right back. Alright. Thank you, Zero, for the 37 months.
Why stay earthbound when prosperity awaits you in the stars? Come to Halcyon, the only colony on the edge of the frontier, owned and operated by corporations. A trip of 10 short years will feel like mere minutes, thanks to the comfort and safety of your very own hibernation chamber.
I'll try to save as many people as possible in this one, except for the deserters. I'm gonna kill every single one of them.
With only a minor term of service, you will become the master of your own destiny
that
when
for
you go
nothing.
out of this world to the Halcyon colony.
Thank God I found about the tinkering. Yeah, tinkering is just so overpowered. Basically, it just makes the weapons your level every time. You never fall behind in damage if you just, you know, you get too unlucky, you don't find upgrades. How long was the game from start to finish? Let me check. Oh, it's on Epic Game Store. I don't know if it shows hours there. No, not directly in the library tab anyway. I don't know. But I've played 7 hours now, 8 hours now, and I played about 9 hours yesterday.
Hundreds of thousands of colonists left to drift out here
For
forever.
like all the
Just to
reloading
keep
and stuff,
from damaging
I'd say
the
maybe like give or
board's
take
bottom
15
line.
hours.
Disgraceful.
First playthrough difficulty was Supernova mode. Which is awful, but don't play the hardest difficulty mode. It makes companions just not playable. Goodbye, Length.
Must remember not to sneeze.
It was
near
good
you.
having you in the first time. Reload speed for ranged. Don't think I need.
Nerve damage in your
Oh,
extremities.
minus 25% on 1 point less. Crit damage from int.
It says here that you
35%
solved
more.
mathematical
Bonus
problems
weak
just
shot
for
damage.
fun.
12 headshots damage. I'll go for long guns in this one. This affects lying, sneaking, medical engineering, and determination.
You'd need a navigational computer to find your
This seems
temper.
like the perfect build. Next. Range
We'll put those
and
marksmanship scores to
either
good use.
dialogue or tech. I think tinkering is too good, but dialogue opens up a lot of things in the game, which is nice. And I can always just add this up manually, so I'll go for dialogue.
You could
for now.
probably talk your way out of a landing ticket.
And I'm gonna be... Oh, this is so... Like, so nothing, you know? Like 1.3%. I'm a janitor.
I bet you're a
Sanitation
genius
class.
with a mop.
Gender, women. Randomize. Oh, I thought it was still a woman. I was like, oh. Beautiful. Beautiful woman. What's my name? Name. Seems good enough. Alright. Never fucking around again.
Looks to be your lucky day, my friend.
Please power down your engines and prepare to be...
Not likely, bootlickers.
Initiate skip jump.
Why a new character? I want to play through the game normally with companions and everything. And I think this should be one of the better builds. Maxed out long guns together with maxed out science. And then maybe some of the skills that make companions better. But I'm not sure about that.
Shit.
It's hard to say really, since I didn't play with companions at all last one.
Ah, there you are. Wondering what's going on, eh? A bit of bad news there, I'm afraid. Your colony ship was inexplicably knocked out of skip space and forced to complete its journey at sublight speeds. This means that you and every other colonist on the Hope have been in suspended animation for 70 years, give or take. Normally, reviving someone after so long leads to some quite horrifying results. It's called explosive cell death, but it's really more of a liquefaction.
Oh, first person view for this game.
Something wrong?
It was actually planned for the game, but then at some point they took it out for story reasons, they said.
To keep you from dying so
It would be more immersive, you could never see your own character.
But I guess we'll see.
I don't know. I would have preferred a third person mode for the entire game.
Supplies saving you. I know it's a lot to ask, but I must have your help securing more if we're to save the rest of your fellow colonists. I'd see it done myself, of course, but the board has a sizable bounty on my head.
It was Cyberpunk's reasoning?
My ship
Oh,
is
then I'm
inoperative,
misremembering.
but
Yeah, I don't know
I've
why they
managed
did it for
to
this one
hire
then.
a smuggler to help you out. He'll be... Oh, I see we're in position. Good luck.
I would have loved to see my own character. Have the shit out of things. Can you imagine
Is this thing working?
those gaming journalists that
There
reviewed
you are.
both this
Now,
and
where were
Greedfall?
we? Oh, yes.
If Greedfall is a
Smuggler.
9.0
His name
out of
is
10
Hawthorne,
for
and
them,
he should be waiting
what
for
the
you
fuck
at
is
the
this
landing
game?
site.
Like a billion out of
He's to
10?
be your chauffeur, sir.
Absurd.
Not to worry. I'm told he's a specialist. Dashing gunslinger, one-of-a-kind ship, that sort of thing. You'll like him, I'm sure. I've also outfitted you with a simple wireless monitor, so I can track your progress.
no.
I'll
you
check
try
in with
every
you as
NPC?
soon
So
as you
far,
land.
you can.
Good luck.
That I've seen.
I'm.
This
all
guy
the
is hidden
colonists
behind a
are
wall
counting on
for
you.
the most part of the game. Actually, every part of the game. But maybe not him. That's like the only guy you can't kill. Everybody else, you'll meet them eventually and you can put a bullet in the back of their head.
You've landed good. Hawthorne should be close by. What in law's name? Is that him? Oh, that idiot. I told him to plant the beacon and move away, not stand there holding it. Oh well, no sense in letting his ship go to waste. Hawthorne won't mind you taking his ship. Better you
I'm
than
weak
the
again.
board, huh?
I was
Not
pretty
sure
much
I
nearing
trusted
godhood
the
towards the end of that
fellow.
one.
I've gone after the bounty on my head.
The other one.
Shame about the whole squashing thing. Nasty way to go.
Even matter. It's not like they're gonna face me. Are they? Oh. Oh, they.
Easy now. You've been frozen for a while. There's bound to be unforeseen side effects.
Hey, you've tried the best now. Now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Oh, law, that stings. Looks like the bleeding stopped. I owe you one. Hope you don't mind me omitting this little exchange from my report. Spacer's choice doesn't like us accepting outside help. Oh, we're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. Not that I deserve to be. Can't even deliver a company slogan. We were out on patrol. I saw a marauder camp up in the hills. Thought I could take them. Then my gun misfired. Right through my side. I mean, what are the odds of that, right? Just barely scraped by with my life. Crawled in here and blocked off the exit with those canisters. Gibbering, flesh-eating, law-breaking, unemployed
Game is
lunatics.
way better than Fallout
with
76.
guns. Some
But then
hull
again,
had
you just
grounded
didn't have
their
a working
spacecraft
game, and
out
it's
in the
better than
open.
76.
That's a real good way to attract marauders. See those canisters by the entrance? Marauders come sniffing around in here, and I can take them all out with a single shot.
Even New Vegas?
Not bad, huh?
I don't remember New Vegas that well. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
okay.
But I do
You
remember
look like you know
enjoying
your
it
way around
immensely.
a gun. Got some spare ammo, not counting the bullet in my side. Here, you can have my saber too, for patching me up and all. All Spacer's Choice
If
weapons
anything,
are now
it's not
30%
worse than
less
Vegas.
likely to
It's
malfunction.
equal at very worst.
You've tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's Choice. Yes, nailed it that time.
Oh, I don't need food anymore. So what do they do then? The carbs. No carbs yet. Just like I said at the beginning of the other one. Food and
Damn it, my ears! Oh, what just
food and
happened?
hydration and everything, they were completely
Can you
pointless to
hear me?
have in that mode.
What in the hell?
You were never gonna run out, no matter what you did, unless you're AFK. You don't look at it for like 5 hours in this. No, what was it? Oh wow, you're so low. Oh my god, I can't shoot. Hmm. All right. What do carbs do? Oh, they still just give HP regen. Of course. But I have... Do I have 0 HP regen? I think I have 0. I'd be using a lot more heals in this run. Not that. I'll try shooting them in the leg and stuff. See if it actually cripples them. Maybe it's better to shoot them once in the leg and then finishing them off in other places. I can manually save this time. Is F5 manual save? It is. Thank God. Thank God! And the game only crashed once in the entire playthrough, which is commendable in these types of games. But that's talking after playing every single Elder Scrolls games except for the first 2. And all of the Fallout games, which all use the same engine, of course.
Get over here before you get yourself killed. Don't know where you came from, stranger, but you best keep your head down. There's marauders hereabouts, and worse, landing violators. Gall on that rung leech. Landing in the Vale without using an official Spacer's Choice landing pad. I'd slap him with a fine if it weren't for all these marauders shambling about. You pulling my limb? I mean, yeah, of course. Marauders. Bunch of addle-brained derelicts. I could round them up all by myself. I just, you know.
I have saved some
Need a
because
couple
I'm
of
playing on
winks
the
to catch
second
my
hardest mode.
breath.
It's not
Stretch
the
my
hardest
legs,
one.
son.
But I don't think it changes numbers for HP and damage of enemies.
You think? Most marauders can't even talk. But criminals do attract other criminals by their own nature. You know what? You're right. It's time we cross those marauders off, find whoever owns that ship, and file a full report. Then it's gonna be fucking laminated.
Here we go.
Good. Oh, how do I pass it?
I just earned a fine bonus.
Oh, this guy died. It's one of the dudes that was with her. Oh man, I was gonna save everybody, and now there's one dead already. The companions can't die in this run because this is only hard mode. Only in supernova mode they have permadeath, which again, it's a terrible design choice. I hope they fucking remove it.
This is gonna take a lot of paperwork. This is gonna take a lot of paperwork. This is gonna take a lot of paperwork.
Please be informed that this vessel contains no... Hello, Marauder. I am Ada, the autonomous digital astrogator of this vessel. Please be informed that I am authorized to use violent retribution against unwanted solicitors. Please return any misappropriated equipment and exit this vessel in an orderly fashion. Failure to do so will result in your immediate destruction. Gesture procedures initiated. Please
Can't fool
engage
me.
in airlocks. Prepare to reject all boarding parties in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are still here. My deception protocols have failed. I have been programmed
More
to
dumb
express
options. I'm too smart now.
disappointment.
3 int instead of 0.
I am incapable of accepting orders
Feels
from
bad, man.
anyone other than Captain Alex Hawthorne.
I'm super smart.
I understand. I will require some time to process this information. Thank you for your patience and for your honesty. I am programmed to take orders exclusively from Captain Hawthorne. If I accept your orders, then you must be Captain Hawthorne. Do you understand? Well done, Captain Hawthorne. I see your powers of deductive reasoning remain intact. Unfortunately,
It's one of the
our
few
engine
games
is
where I like the
currently
side quests.
inoperable. Our main drive suffered a critical power failure, and we were forced to make an emergency landing. The main drive's power regulator has been irreparably damaged and must be replaced. Astutely observed. However, the probability of locating a power regulator within a worker settlement falls within acceptable parameters of certainty. High-capacity power regulators are sometimes employed in the electrical networks of worker settlements. I have taken the liberty of printing you a new Captain's Identity cartridge. Please try not to lose it this time. This cartridge identifies you, Alex Hawthorne, as the registered proprietor and captain of the Unreliable. Do you understand? Best of luck in your search for a power regulator. Try to stay alive this time.
Captain! Level drop! Maxed out long gun seems so good. Kidding me, man. Perks? Good perks are there? Doesn't look like it's anything good for ranged for the extra time dilation, since that is the most OP thing in the entire game. And having no HP regen is kinda ass, actually.
Due to catastrophic power failure, all doors will remain on security lockdown.
Luckily, heals are plenty in the game. I had like 104 left at the end of the previous run. And I can save.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, ma'am, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid
And I'm
we
a
gotta dock
woman
your
now.
pay.
You've got it all wrong. I'm a Starship Safety Inspector.
Oh, by the law. I'm so sorry. I had no idea we had an inspector coming. If you'd like to speak with my manager, I report to Constable Reyes in Edgewater. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Okay. So, last time I shot her in the head. And that was the end of her. Forever. Mostly her problem, not mine. I have to sit up straight. Oh, okay. Sitting up. Oh my god, the damage taken. Maybe the HP regen is better than expected. There is a perk that increases, or that gives lives back for kills, but I don't remember if it was melee only or not. So like, one of these I think. PTD. 50% health restored per kill, yeah, it's that one. The melee one was only for lifesteal, the spare hit. I already finished the game, yeah. I'm replaying it now. I'm gonna play with all the companion quests and everything. I'm gonna do the factions I didn't do the other time.
Hey, where'd you come from? Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's Marauder territory, friend. Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices. Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family.
Bad at these kind of games? Nobody's bad at RPG games.
Definitely not the
Whatever
junior
choice
in
you
humor,
make,
that's for
it's
sure.
your own path you take.
If you've
It
got
don't matter.
business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Yeah? You could look at it that way, I suppose. You could look at us and say, those Edgewater saps lost near every soul to plague. But you'd be wrong. We're survivors. Loyal company folk, braving the wilds. Every now and again, a virulent plague sweeps through our town. That's life on the frontier, I suppose. A body grows accustomed. Hang on, I'm doing some math in my head. 20, 30, carry the one. All my life? Work's been real good to me. Fresh air, exercise. Only problem's the paperwork. Can't get anybody to pay their gravesite fees. 4 workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little.
Okay, I go. The guy's place, I guess. Oh. Pick up the AI companion first.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands
killed
are probably
him too.
crawling with
I remember that
germs.
face.
Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness.
And
No, thank you. That's quite all right. I've seen enough body parts in my line of work. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment. Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions.
big word.
As broke as pie crust, friend. Bitless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
Pay up.
With what? My own blood? Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies.
This is what, medical rights?
Some time ago, I fell ill with the plague. By the grace of the law, and through my own hard work, I'd proven worthy of treatment. Frankly, I don't imagine I'll earn that right a second time. The barber work hasn't been profitable, you see. I've had to keep this old place running with my own savings. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers! No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions. Much obliged.
Probably gonna be the golden teeth in the guy's mouth. I remember one of the corpses had it. Yeah, right there. This is the text about the dude. Find me following.
What can I do for you? Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor? I am a Spacer's Choice certified surgeon, and if you must know, I can stitch a severed thumb with a 58% chance of avoiding gangrene.
58.
You know about Eugene? How? Then, you know Phyllis suggested selling off Eugene's gold teeth. I didn't approve of the idea then, and I don't approve of it now. Eugene's
This is
golden
the
teeth
beginning
were
of
a
the game. I'm
family
replaying it.
heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's Choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I? Yes, I suppose I must. Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
We'll pick up the companion. He is in this tower. I remember. Wonder what she has to say. They probably add so much to conversations and everything. And I never got to see anything because they're all kind of expired.
Please, Holcomb, I need to explain this aggressively. The grease... Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at
And
the
I'll
gates
help
myself.
this guy this time. Hobson.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have
The game is
our
that
power
short, yeah.
regulator.
Only about 15 hours if you
But
only do the main quest.
I happen to know of another one.
But the side
And
quest
I happen to
content
know
is really high
exactly how
quality.
you may retrieve it
I'm sure you
without
can easily
frying
push it to
yourself in
40.
the process.
Maybe not 40, 30.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down,
I like
you
how
can have
he's
their
not telling you
regulator
about the
and be
deserters that I
along
know
the
are
way.
there. Yeah, this motherfucker.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide.
Might have to
Tell
kill
her
her.
the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear
Feels
that.
good, man.
Best
Companions.
of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
You can yoink the items, but I have no reason to. Fighting with me, right? He's using the same. Oh, I wanna put her on aggressive now that she can't die. She already is. Sweet.
Hey, ma'am, can we talk? Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. It don't seem right to me, ma'am. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy. You some sort of wandering alienist? Walking into a man's own domicile, pestering him about his mental state? Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows. Sounds like he's already told you. You may as well hear it from me. I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching, and soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies.
Don't say that, Mr. Abernathy. You still got a couple decades in you.
I'd steer clear, Ms. Holcomb. My affliction's bound to be contagious. It's plague. Has to be. Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help.
How can I help?
There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff. Stronger than what we got, anyway.
I'm a helper.
I need you to break in, nab that medicine, and bring it back to me. You oblige me with your haste. I think I feel the plague spreading. Oh, Law, it's in my spleen now. I can feel it.
All right.
You're making a mistake working for Abernathy.
What you say?
Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary. I overheard your talk with Abernathy. I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead.
What?
All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic.
Do you need it for a woman?
I probably shouldn't tell you. Don't want you implicated for what I'm trying to do.
That's not... No, let me worry about that.
All right. Here's a summary.
Easily convinced.
A lot of sick people in this town, and we don't have the medicine to treat them all. Can't reach out to corporate without crossing a river of red tape, so I'm reaching out to you. I'm paid better than Abernathy. Whatever he's giving you, I will do you one better. That's all I can ask of you.
She's paying me more, I'm taking her. Money talks. That people never do. Nice.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit?
remember I killed a guard here one time. It was probably this guy. This exact guard right here. He caught me
You the new
liberating
worker?
stuff
Whatever.
for myself.
Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill. I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me. Shame, though. Eugene was a good worker.
Oh, Eugene shot himself? The guy that happened to have golden teeth?
Woke up one morning and put a round through his upper story.
The
Can't imagine
valuable
why.
gold teeth?
The kid was doing all right at his desk. We all thought he was an upstanding receptionist. Just between the two of us, I'm pretty shocked his weapon didn't misfire. Spacer's Choice handguns aren't the most reliable. Not half as awful as the bill Eugene left us with. Suicide's a crime. The legal term is irreparable damage to company property. What Eugene did to himself was vandalism.
I'm liking the game. You're asking. Enjoying
I'm
the game a
plenty
lot.
serious. In fact, I'm
Hopefully
a
it's
little
gonna be
upset
better with
Eugene didn't
companions.
think things through. In other words, Edgewater would have been penalized pretty hard.
Penalized?
Whatever Eugene was worth as an asset, we would have had to
Penalize
pay
you.
out of pocket to Spacer's Choice. Well, excuse you. I'll have you know, Eugene was an asset to us all. May his atoms be commended to the law. All I know is Silas asked me for Eugene's gravesite fees, which means he was approved for burial, which means his papers went through, which means the town's in the clear. I'm just glad to put this whole ugly affair behind me. Eugene can rest his bones in peace, and the rest of us can get on with our own lives.
A member of storage room. Aha! Free stuff. Bitch, close the door. Time for the crazy guy. I'll be trying to do as many and exit. See that poster just now? She's just picking off lumps of that pig's back. Disgusting.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
And I killed this guy too. Because I stole some shit from him. He realized I was stealing. Ugh.
Thank the law.
And I couldn't do
I've been
anything else.
repositioning backup
Couldn't
for
like
months. Guess the boss
aggressive him.
finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. The war. The coming apocalypse. Man versus machine.
Right back.
I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies. Just my luck. I ask for backup and the boss sends me one of them simple folk. All right. Listen real close. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant. Clattering about. Firing at the birds. Orchestrating their uprising. When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing, shoulder to shoulder with the Resistance? I've been gathering up a war chest over the years. Saw tuna cans, mostly, some Spacer's chaw, few bit cards. I'll reward you for your aid. Enlistment fees? Yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't want to give the Resistance a bad name. They have sent a scout, prowling around the junkyard just behind our beloved town. This scout must not be permitted to return to its base of operations. Cross it off, then report back.
No rifle yet, right? Yeah. Can only tinker things. Be good. Not here anymore. I like how she approves of stealing. 10.5.
Lovely to see you about, Miss Parvati.
Things going all right, Silas?
Been keeping him careful and true, miss. Best to ask her yourself.
My dad's buried here. Silas watches over him when I can't leave the house. Oh. Well, thanks.
Something I can do for you? You run into any trouble? Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to. And I'll buy you a drink sometime. Oh, suppose you've earned it. One good turn deserves another. Abernathy was sick? With the plague? That's disgusting. I shook hands with the guy. What? No. If I knew he was sick, I would have had him reported. I needed his fees because of his name. A for Abernathy. He was at the top of my list, you see?
Level 3! 20% bonus damage on weak spots. Exactly on the other side of town. Gonna get that healing lady on me. It's very annoying if I, you know, like heals. Passive heal. Passive regeneration. The new character, yeah. Hold the vein of Fallout? It's the other way around. I think this is one of those games that raises the bar again for RPG games.
Aw, he ain't no threat.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to.
Holy shit, 54 engineering.
Take your time. You need help, just give a yell. Metaphorical yell. If you yell for reals, you're liable to spook them. Yep, I see the problem. His nav mod got dislodged. Must have taken a tumble. Just gotta give it a good push and wait for the click. There we go. Jeremy's good as new. Well, new by Spacer's Choice standards anyhow. His name's Jeremy, by the by.
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
Don't you owe me something for the repairs?
I don't reckon Jeremy
What? Of
understands
course
the
he does.
concept of trade.
Spacer's Choice reminds all colonists that serving the Spacer's Choice family is the highest possible reward.
Oh.
I have been
Man.
programmed to deliver this pre-approved message.
Ridiculous. I'm done.
Be more careful out there, Jeremy.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not disturb.
I kill him? I can probably lie myself into telling him that he's dead. I don't want to kill the bot. Seems nicer than most people have seen so far in the game.
Bring us honor, soldier. You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years. Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has
so
need
smart.
to enter. On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
I killed that guy, you. I had no choice.
You think corporate's ever
Oh, yeah, my new playthrough, dude. Not doing any melee this time.
You're not a big drinker, are you?
I pick it up. Oh, man. I should avoid fall damage since I don't have HP regen now.
Bring us honor, soldier. Feast your eyes, soldier. This here is a genuine Spacer's Choice injury customizing unit, designed to deliver a lethal blast of electrical discharge. I call it the Hand of the Law. You ever want to see a mechanical flailing around like a grounded fish? You stick a couple thousand volts in its guts. With compliments from old Ludwig. Fun. This ain't some quarterly performance review, soldier. Ours is a grave and sacred duty. Time's come for you to journey down into the black heart of the enemy's camp. I'm talking about the old geothermal plant. Unfortunately, the old plant lies outside my board-given jurisdiction. You'll need to get a passcode from the boss, Reed Thompson. I've been after a passcode for years. Boss said no on account of my gross incompetence with all matters related to security. I need you to get us the brain of a mechanical. Well, not exactly a brain. Anatomically speaking, what we're looking for is a logic module. If you die horribly, I will pour out a can of 0G to your memory.
Okay. It's already time to start liberating some people. Nothing to say.
That's the last of them.
Hopefully one of them has a long gun for me. Assault rifle. Perfect. My carry weight isn't so high this time. That should be fine once works later.
Huh?
Incoming!
Okay. Non-ADS shooting is really not a thing. Also, bullets are a problem.
Got it. Heads down.
Not enough medium bullets. What's it use? It uses heavy. Grab the Q.
That was quick.
And guns. +5. Elf +5. Am I doing it? Go on now. I'm gonna do the same thing. Come on, man.
So done.
I saw a weapon. All right. Underwhelming loot in this. I don't think they have bullets, so it's not been a problem for her.
Here we go! You got him!
Jesus.
We made it! Here we go!
Oh, fuck. Holy shit, I died. What?
Okay, gone quiet.
Woman? Thank God they don't die forever here. You do it. That was good, man.
That was quick.
And they're a trooper. On off shotgun. Yeah, I came through this way the other time I played. It sucks fucking cock. I didn't save. Oh no, 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 no. I thought it was gonna one shot. I really thought it was just gonna one shot. Someone's pushing a woman, I think. Jesus. We're off until I get some points in time dilation thingy. Free fire. Oh.
Get up!
Oh yeah, the books for that one guy. Lotus camp. This is on hard mode now. It's not super mode, normal mode. Really hard to play. No. The mobs all have aimbots. On easy mode probably as soon as all the perks for time dilation. They probably won't get the chance to shoot anymore. Shotgun. It should be okay if I shoot it point blank. Right? It's a shotgun. Right. I don't think mobs are hard on Supernova compared to hard mode. Do this. Well, I can fast travel to towns now.
Had your rations yet?
Yep.
I've always felt weird in here. It's too...
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town?
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. The marauders I met when I ventured outside the walls might agree with you. Bastards snuck up on me while I was dutifully hunting for a banned book in a collector's library.
Pick up the book.
Barely escaped with my life. But you see, one of the reasons I transferred here was to get my hands on that heretical text. If you managed to acquire it for me, I'd pay quite a handsome sum for the book. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
4. Base Age seems important. Fast travel like this. Just like that. And then give my things to the slave. No need. It's like 5 of them here. Jesus.
Here we go.
Dead? Ragdolling is insane every single hit. Oh my god. Bullets also get slowed down in time delay. Just not mine. Feel like New Vegas. It's more of a game of its own. It's not Borderlands with Fallout choices. Not even close. Borderlands is not designed to be RPG in any single way. Really, it's just loot and shoot. 4 mobs. I can shoot from the open. Found? Huh? Huh? That is one of the few bugs I've run into so far. Alright. Wait, what? Whatever, I guess. It bugged again? What? Maybe it's the area?
Easy.
Works again? Hell no. Not enough damage to kill the mine. What? Oh, no shotguns. At least I got a bolter pistol. Looks really awful, but it's plasma damage.
Had your rations yet?
Yep.
Any progress on that matter we discussed? Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn. I've spent my life